Well, obviously, before we talk about the game, tough day in basketball, and I get emotional because it's someone that I knew very well, and it was hard to rally to play a game, but I know that the competitor he was, that that's what he would want. He would want both teams to go out there and fight hard. So I apologize if I can't say too much, but for all these kids on both teams, you're talking about a guy who's probably a hero to most all of them. So for those guys to get the news, you know, 3 hours before playing a game, it's tough for both teams, not just ours. But our guys were very emotional, and obviously, I have a lot of history with Kobe, going back to when he was a little kid. So, and I have a daughter who's 13. So, obviously, everybody in our program, our thoughts and prayers and are with him and his family and his wife and their children. And just really, really a hard day when someone puts it all in perspective about just playing a basketball game. When you got to, every minute's precious, man. Every minute's precious. So, sorry. When it comes to the game, I thought Ohio State did a lot of good stuff. They deserved to win. They're a good team. I thought we played really hard. I thought we did a lot of good things. I was proud of our effort. Robbie Barron got hurt in practice the other day. He was playing basically on one and a half legs, and I just appreciated him getting out there because we're undermanned with not having Gaines and Boo coming off injury, and he just wanted to try to see what he could give. But not having him obviously hurt us, especially against an active front line like they have. But I thought their guys, when the game was on the line in those last 5 or 6 minutes, I just thought they stepped up. They made big plays. Give Aaron's credit. He was fantastic. You got to give him a lot of credit. He didn't even play in their last game. And he comes out tonight and hits 4 threes. And, in a close game, those things matter. And I just thought every time we had a chance to kind of regain some momentum, we missed some free throws, we missed some open shots, and then they made them. So, I thought our guys continue to play really hard. I feel like we're getting better in a lot of ways. The results aren't showing. But I really like, the development of our young guys, and I love the attitude and the spirit that they're showing. And we just got to stay upbeat, man. It's when you play in this league and you're playing all young guys, you can't allow these guys to get beaten down because every team is really good. And all these teams are veteran teams. I mean, Andre Wesson's old. Caleb Wesson's old. Kyle Young's old. Walker's been in college for 3 or 4 years. These guys, they have a couple young, but they got 4 or 5 really good veterans, that have been playing a lot of basketball, and that matters. That matters when you get to the last 5, 6 months. That's where that experience really comes in, and that's where we need to grow because we're really struggling during those times, and we're playing these young guys and having them try to figure it out on the fly. So it's really a lot of teaching again, game situational stuff, offensively and defensively, and we just got to keep working and getting better, and hopefully we can break through.
Chris, you've known Kobe since you guys were how old?
Well, our dads were teammates in Philadelphia, so I've known him since he was born. My sister and Kobe are about a month apart, and so my mom, I was about 4 years old, and I remember my mom and Kobe's mom being pregnant at the same time, and it was my sister and Kobe. And so, I've known him and known his family since then, and then obviously had a chance to reconnect with him. I coached him, with the national team on 3 different teams. In 2007 when we had to qualify for the Olympics, 2008 in Beijing, and then 2012 in London. And when you travel overseas and you're with, a lot of times we would go on those exhibition tours leading up to those games. So we were, for 3 of those summers, basically that becomes your family for 6 weeks in the summer. So, forget about playing basketball and stuff, just the time you're at meals together and talking about kids and family. And my daughter sent me a picture of her and Kobe at the 2008 Olympics, after she heard the news. And it's just really sad. It's just really sad.
You guys played in the
Yeah, it's crazy. The little kids in that room. It was Mike Bibby. It was Mike Dunleavy Jr. It was Tamika Catchings, one of the greatest all-time women's player. It was me. It was Kobe. So, pretty good little family room there. I was probably the worst player by far, but I'll take it with that group.
I mean, everybody talks about his competitiveness, and then he was so good with, I think, younger NBA players. What are kind of some personal memories that you'll?
Well, just his drive. His drive. He really the closest thing I've ever seen to it is Michael. I was really lucky to be around Michael when I was in junior high when my dad coached him here in Chicago. And he was probably the closest thing I ever saw to having that kind of competitiveness, that kind of desire, and he wanted, you could tell he studied everything Michael did because that's what he wanted to be. And, the guy, he would wake me up. We'd be out in China and he'd get me out of bed at 2:00 in the morning and make me come rebound for him for 2 hours, and just, he was a machine. He loved the game. He was really smart, and just what was really sad about it was he just seemed so happy when I saw him recently, not in person, but when you'd see him at games or you see the stuff he's doing, with his daughters and being really involved with them and his family. And he just seemed really happy with his post-basketball life. And to have something like this happen, it's just not fair. It sucks.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.